Right, well, no expense spared for this. We're going to clean the lens. Full service here. Right, well, guys, good to see you. Welcome back to Jimbo's Homebrew. I say Jimbo's Homebrew. It's ages since I put out a video, or a brewing video. And this is going to be the last one as we know it. So basically, I need to pursue a healthier lifestyle. So I'm having to give up homebrew, which is a bit of a, well, I'm going to give up homebrew, which is, you know, a bit of a shame, really. It's been absolutely fantastic being part of the sort of BrewTube community. Learned some amazing things, got to meet some fantastic people. It's been brilliant. It's been an absolutely fantastic experience. And for anyone who's ever thought about making their own videos, doing this kind of thing, do it, because it's you get so much out of it. But yeah, so unfortunately I have to sort of leave a lot of this sort of stuff behind, which is a bit of a shame. Now I've been, well, it is a shame, you know, it's been, like I said, it's been fantastic, and you know, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to ramble on, so let's try not to ramble. Anyway, so looking back at some bits of video and stuff like that, videos I never quite got around to making, and little bits and bobs that I did the other day, and I thought, let's just knock them together and just sort of, we'll have a little bit of a chat about them. You might find it quite boring, actually. But yeah, it's just funny looking back at some of the little bits and bobs and mini sort of disasters and stuff like that. So I thought what we'll do is we'll get into the computer thingy bob, and we'll do a bit of a voiceover, and then we'll come back later on and tell you what else we've got planned. Like I say, Jimbo's Homebrew. This will sort of, it won't be any more homebrew, but I've got a couple of other ideas. So let's go and check out some of these videos, have a bit of a laugh, and we'll come back afterwards. Alright, cheers guys. Okay, so a bit of a spoiler alert there with the title. Yeah, this pretty much sums it up. Terrible competition ideas. This was one that I never actually did in the end. But I look, you know, one of my favourite things actually was doing like little quizzes, little fun, stupid things, and bits and bobs like that. It was one of my favourite things actually about other people's channels as well. Yeah, just get to know people through that bit of silly banter and just something a little bit different, a little bit of fun. So yeah, as you can see, with this particular one, my idea was to do kind of like various sort of brewing tasks. In this case, spot cleaning, and do basically, can you guess the tune? And yeah, maybe it was a good thing that I never actually got around to doing this. It kind of seemed like it could be a pretty fun idea, but yeah, I never did. Anyway, in the end. So yeah, this is that's pretty much it basically. I don't know how you're getting on, if you can work out what it is I'm singing. I've actually already, to be honest, looking at it as I did earlier on, I couldn't really work it out, but I've had a sneak peek, so I know what it is. But anyway, all will be revealed in a moment, and then we'll be on to the next competition idea that I had, but again, I never did. But for another reason completely. Okay, I think. Okay, we're gonna go for it. Yes, that's right. That was terrible cleaning rendition of Benny and Jack's. By the way, bro, if you're watching, I've just temporarily borrowed these, so I haven't swagged them, just temporarily borrowed. Cheers. Okay, so this is the next one. Okay, it's time to cash it in. So we've got about half, I think it's one of those 5 litre whiskey bottles. I think it's probably about 5 litres. The question is, how much bunts have we got? That is going to be the competition. So I'll give you a quick twirl of the contents. Obviously there's no squids or anything like that in there, or any high value stuff. You'll have a few euros and, you know, bits and bobs and stuff like that. So Question is, how much bunce is in here? So we cash it in and find out. Okay, so the reason I never did this was I never actually wrote down how much the total was, so there you go. Okay, so here we go then. Here's some of the things some of the files I found knocking around. Now this is my, yeah, great job, just, yeah. Bollocks. Yes. So, yeah, as everyone knows, if you're starting a YouTube channel or anything like that, you've got to have a good introduction. So this was kind of like my sort of attempts at sort of doing something that was like really cool and funky and stuff like that. So plan was dead straightforward: get a glass, do some like really cool pour, and then Jimbo's Homebrew appears somehow, and it just looked absolutely bang on. But as you can see, my oh god, and the shocking thing is, I did this like again and again and again and again, trying to get it good. I seem to remember, I don't know why I couldn't get my head around the fact that I was going to get a ton of head and it's going to look like this. But anyway, yeah. So I'm rambling on now again, aren't I? Okay, come on, get with the program. Right, okay. This is the next time I attempted it. I think I must have thought bigger glass, something like that. Obviously, no different. And then I seem to remember I switched to. Oh, hang on. What did I do here? Yeah, I think I thought. Well, I think what I. Yeah, this time around, I think I kind of like shook it up a bit. I think to try and decarbonate a bit, and then half and half it. Obviously, looks terrible. Yeah, this is the time I thought, well, I'll get some cheap lager or something I had kicking around. Won't be as fizzy. Do a pour on that. Obviously, yeah, not great. Slightly better. At least it's clearer, I guess. I mean, I think this was probably the best one I actually managed to do. I didn't actually ever use it in the end. And when I was doing this, it was all totally going pear-shaped. There was like a chainsaw outside, somebody was using all kinds of things. But those were my sort of first attempts. I totally forgotten I'd done them, actually. And then I think I did them in an old DSLR camera. So, yeah, those are the first things I found. Probably very boring, but, you know, that's all I've got for you. Okay, next, let's go on to some more stuff. Hopefully more exciting. Okie dokie. Right, so I don't know what it is, but I just love doing sort of slow-mos and time lapses and stuff like that. And obviously doing just loads of scope for doing all that kind of malarkey. That's a little nod to Jim there, the late great Jim, Jim Payne. I'm constantly getting off track, aren't I? Yeah, but there's just something really, really good, I think, about doing this kind of stuff. And yeah, this is a stout that's going. It's just it's just sort of breaking, and it's just I don't know what it is, just dead good. And then we've got the this sort of general mash thing that I did, and I kind of it was just mucking around, but I quite often sort of pasted all this stuff into bits and bobs. And anyway, this is really boring, I know, but I reckon you could probably, do an AMSR. What is it, AMSR thing? Whack something like this together, and people would, maybe I should do that. Maybe. Right. Okay. Yeah. Right. On to the next. Okay. So we start this one by me. Yeah. Just nearly falling over the lid, I think. No, it actually can't have been a lid because the lid's on there. I don't know. I remember falling over something. Anyway, so what am I talking about? So this is I wanted to try and do some like proper kind of like, tutorial instruction-y kind of help. No, none of that necessarily, but like helpful videos, because there's like so much stuff out there that I've used and been got a lot of help from. So this is kind of one of my attempts at doing that, and yeah, it doesn't go very well. Yeah, here I am just explaining. This is basically me saying it's going to be dead good. I know exactly what I'm doing. Piece of cake. Blah blah blah. So we'll we'll pick up a little bit further on in and see how we get on. Okie dokie, this has gone seriously pear-shaped, as you can see. This thing now butchered together. Right, I'll hold it up. See that quality workmanship there? Oh no, just done the camera. So anyway, the reason why it looks like that, one, I think was my measurements weren't still 100% when I was actually, I got a bit sort of gung-ho when I was cutting them and I just thought, well, you know, slash them and, you know, that sort of stuff. But there's the reason, this is a really bad idea doing it how I've done it. So I'm going to stick this video out because it's got the major drawback with it, thinking about it. The reason why I did it like this was, I had a vision of, you're doing your brew, you cooked your brew, you've done your mash, I'll just think this through, and then you want to get it up to boil temperature, or when you're, I suppose more importantly, when you're cooling it, what I normally do is take off all the insulation, and you know, it's obviously gonna cool quicker with the chiller. But I don't know whether, basically what I'm saying is, I think if you're gonna take the insulation off like I was planning, this isn't the way to do it. The main reason actually is, which I hadn't thought about, the reason I've butchered this is because of, obviously I've got the tap open now, but when it's closed and you're wrapping it around, you know, you've got to have a massive hole to do it, so that's why I've done it, because it's not as if you can turn it in the open position when you've got your brew in it, and you know, that'd be ending disaster. So it was a bit of an ill thought out plan, this. It hasn't worked. If you're going to put insulation on anything, I would recommend you don't do it like this. But yeah, so it's going to just, I'm not going to bother redoing this now. I'm just going to keep this, you know, I'll just gaffer tape it together or whatever and just use it until it gets really gunky, and then I'll do it again properly. So yeah, lesson learnt. The other thing was, I think if I mean, I've seen guys who have this kind of thing, but I think they probably keep it, like I say, sort of on all the time. And if you were going to do that, to be honest, having thought about it, the best thing to do, I would say, is take off the tap. Probably you might even be able to take off the knobs and stuff. I don't know. And then just wrap it right, because obviously you've got your handles as well. And I wouldn't bother about, I was trying to be fancy and sort of cutting around the handles. But, oh actually, yeah, you could take off the handles on this one. So take off the handles, take off that, just wrap it around. You don't need to muck about with measuring stuff. And then just use the old, you know, just use the knife to sort of just cut around it. So yeah. It's one of the worst DIY things. It's a pathetic attempt. That's what it is. It's it's not good. Anyway, yeah, I don't know what more to say. It's bad news. It looks really it looks really bad, doesn't it? Still, it'll do its job, I guess, pretty much. And yeah, then I'll redo it at another point. The other thing, actually. Going on about the tap, obviously not being able to open it when you're full of liquid, is, I'm not too sure if this is a good way of doing it from, if, you know, thinking about it, which I hadn't sort of thought about before, when it comes to, do you really want to be unravelling it when it's got, you know, loads of liquid in, so if you catch it, I don't know, maybe we'll give it a go anyway. I'm going to use it because, you know, a work of art, isn't it? Right, okay. Cheers, guys. Right, got the old washing out. It's a pretty typical, what are we in? December, sort of 10th of December. Alright, so if you're wondering what I'm doing outside with a load of washing in the background, this was like an attempt. I had this kind of idea of doing these money saving things on when the price of juice was like really expensive, and I was just wondered
well, actually no, it's so boring. I'm not going to tell you about it. But yeah, let's call it a day on that. Okay, so I think this is my final attempt at doing one of these sort of tutorial kind of thingamajigs. And a load of people have done these sort of kegerator type thingamajigs, and for a long, long time I just had my sort of firm fridge set up. Well, without, just so you basically open a door and you had your sort of party tap on there and stuff like that, which I found pretty good. But after looking at some of these amazing things people have built, I thought, oh, just imagine how good it would be, to be able to go up, pour yourself a beer from the fridge, just sounded absolutely spot on. So that's what I endeavoured to do. But and I thought, well, since we're doing it, as you do when you're doing this kind of stuff, make a video, make it like a really sort of hard hitting how-to video. And I did I did loads on it, but then I got to the end, and well, I made a couple of I had a couple of problems. First, I kind of butchered the hole to put a tap in, and then for some reason I had this drip, as you can see. I just couldn't stop it dripping. I had all kinds of problems with there's foam and stuff, which I know is a common thing. I know this kind of thing, but it's this kind of dripping thing I couldn't work out. I sort of twisted the what do you call it, the thing on the screw bit that you can see there. I sort of twisted that and tried various things, but no. In the end, I abandoned it, and yeah, that was the final one I attempted. I think I don't think I did, or if I did do any more, I must have uploaded them. Anyway, yes. So there you go. I will cut it short there, and we'll go on to the next one. So I'd seen loads of really cool intros, and I wanted to try and do something similar. This was another one of my attempts.
Right, what we're going to go for? Little Miss Chatterbox? Or koala, actually. None of these are my mugs, obviously, but this is my mug. We'll go with this. Okay.
Alright, so I found these vids on my old laptop, and it was probably, I don't know, it's got to be 4 years ago, something like that, maybe a bit longer. There was yeah, perhaps was a bit longer. Anyway, it was somebody had done the Black Bear of Christmas competition. I can't remember who it was, but they'd done it for several years actually. It must still be going. I got to hear about it from BrewTube Official. Absolutely fantastic. Basically, everyone does a beer at Christmas. You get, as the name suggests, Black Bear of Christmas. You get a dozen beers or however many people are in a competition. Then you get to try them, and it's dead good. It was just really funny looking back at this. This is one of the first ones I had, and then a little bit later on, this is, I think, I'm looking like I've had a few beers on this next one, so we might just pick it up there. We'll let this run for a little bit.
Okay, right, for the final time, let's reach in to Santa's stockings. I couldn't resist the last one. It seemed crazy to miss out. So we're looking at, this time, Ring of Fire. Clearly you can see that, that's better. From Calvin. Now we're talking chili here. Chili chocolate porter, made of organic cocoa powder and cayenne chilies from Psycho Peppers in Bristol. Best enjoyed chilled. Now it's been chilled for, because John had mentioned he chilled his for 2 weeks. This has been in for sort of 3 days or so, but it feels pretty, pretty cold. So I reckon we're good to go. Give you an idea about chili, because everybody has their chili sort of tolerances. Okay, I'm kind of like, I sort of think I can take chilies hotter than I actually can. I once suffered the indignity of being in a Indian restaurant in Derby, I think it's Viceroy, where they had to, really embarrassing this, had
had to bring me some yoghurt to cool off. Anyway, there you go. I put it behind me now. So I went easy on the Tabasco earlier on. Okay, so let's check this baby out. So it's yeah, another really dark one. Small amount of head. Smells good. Okay. I'd be really interested to test this one out because I've never had. I think often you have. Actually, I'll stop rambling on. Let's give this baby a go. Ooh. Wow. Yeah. Right, so that's really interesting because you kind of like get first bit tastes like porter, next bit chili, next bit more chili, and finally to finish off on more chili. That tastes really good. I mean, it to me, for my kind of you know, taste buds, that's kind of like that's kind of like hot, but it's not too hot. But there's enough to, you know, there's enough to say, you know, this is real, you know, this is chili porter. You know, there's enough in there, but there's not kind of too much. It's the kind of thing. I think it's quite good actually. Sort of, I think tasting a few in one go because it allows you to sort of compare. And I'd put this in Ian's kind of and Sean's kind of area, where it's the kind of thing you'd you know, you'd have you kind of like have you know, it's not the kind of thing where you'd, well, actually
good cup of coffee there. Right, well, I hope you enjoyed that. Looking back at some of those videos, it's honest, and I've said this before, but it's so much fun. If you ever thought about doing something like this, definitely give it a go. Yeah, it's great. So I've got to say a big thanks to everyone who's sort of watched and commented, and I've got to know over the years through this, because yeah, it's been a brilliant experience. Honestly, it really has. So I'm sorry to sort of to let it go, really, but pasture's new and all that. And sort of on that note, so as I say, I'm not going to be doing any more brewing videos. So if you're really only interested in that, you probably want to, you know, you might want to unsubscribe, which is fine. I've got my, you know, not that you need my permission, but you know, obviously, if you're not really into any other stuff, then yeah, you know, totally get that. But I've had a couple of other ideas. For videos or maybe sort of podcasty kind of audio kind of things that I'm sort of toying with. So if I do, or when, if and when, I don't know, you know, not entirely sure, I come up with something like that, I will bung a link on this channel, and yeah, so I think that's pretty much it, really. Sorry to, you know, shame it's come to a bit of an end, but it's been a brilliant journey. But a brilliant 5 years, or however long it's about 5 years, something like that. Looking back at some of these videos, it's funny. You know, I've actually got red hair. You know, not anymore. But it's been an absolute blast. I'm going to wrap it up there, and I hope you're all well. I hope everything's going good. Thanks for joining me, and all the best. All right, cheers, guys. Bye. Press record as well. Sweet. Okay, and it is a goodbye from Mr. Fred. Say goodbye, Fred. Meow. Alright, okay. Look, he's not attacking me either, which is good. Nice one, Fred. Nothing else to say. Reebs, say bye.
Bye, people. In the future.
In the future.
You might
Okay,
not
cool.
be in the future.
You might not be in the future. No. Okay, cool. Right, okay, let's turn this off. Nice one, Reeb.